you had some very interesting tweets about Martin Luther King Day, and I just didn't realize, uh,
Everything the
the
FBI did to him.
and I had no idea. Like, why don't they teach any of this in school? What do you think is the most
I wonder
egregious thing?
why.
Maybe I could pull up this letter. This was a letter that you shared on your Twitter feed.
Yeah. So
Uh,
this is a letter. So a little bit of context on this letter. So the FBI, as part of their COINTELPRO program, which was a counterintelligence program, that's what COINTELPRO meant. And basically, anyone who spoke out against the war machine, the military-industrial complex, the Republican and Democratic parties, anyone who spoke out at all against the establishment. It didn't matter if they were libertarians. It didn't matter if they were conservatives or progressives or centrists or communists or anything else. It didn't matter if for any reason were speaking out against the system, they would and reached any level of prominence, they would destroy you. They would do everything they could to destroy you. First, they would try to pressure you to stop. And if that didn't work, then they would start making up things about you, spying on you constantly, harassing you, surveilling you, slandering you to the public, leaking information that either wasn't true or wasn't anyone's business to try to destroy your life. And then if that didn't work, they'd try to get you to kill yourself. And that's this letter. This letter was written by
wow.
the FBI and sent to Dr. King, and it was written supposedly by a black man, or
Mm.
it was supposedly written by a black man, to tell Dr. King how terrible he was and to threaten that information was going to be released in, I think, 34 days or something like that if he didn't kill himself. He didn't
Wow.
kill himself.
Should we do a dramatic
Uh,
reading?
Sure. It's pretty long, but it's so I mean the thing is it's basically several paragraphs of insults,
Okay,
vague insults with no real accusation, and then at the end it says something along the lines. If you want to go to the last paragraph, that'll kind of
okay.
sum up what. So King, there is only one thing left for you to do. You know what it is. You have just 34 days in which to do. This exact number has been selected for a specific reason. It has definite practical significance. They can't. Also, the FBI can't spell. You are done.
Wow,
There
significant.
it with 2 F's, significant. And that's also it
Significant.
would be significance, but it's the FBI is not smart, folks.
No.
You are done. There is but one way out for you. You better take it before your filthy, abnormal, fraudulent. They at least
Wow.
fix that. Fraudulent self is bared to the nation. So he didn't take the
Wow.
bait. He didn't kill himself. And shortly after this was written and he received it, he was assassinated. In 1999, a federal jury ruled that the FBI was an accomplice in Dr. King's assassination. Guess how many people were held accountable for that?
None.
Yep, none. No one. A
Look at this.
federal jury.
You it says, "It is all there on your record, your sexual orgies. Listen to
Listen
yourself,
to
you
yourself, you filthy
filthy,
abnormal animal. Yep,
abnormal
yep,
animal."
yep.
Oh
So
my
this
goodness.
is how they treated people, and they did this. They murdered Fred Hampton, a guy by the name of Leonard Peltier, who was part of the American Indian movement. He's in prison for a crime that an appeals court, said he did not commit, but they did not release him because the court was told that for national security reasons he had to stay in prison. So he's still in prison. Like the court said he didn't do the crime that he was accused of murder. And after multiple attempts to frame him for murder, they finally convicted him. But since then, an appeals court has said they don't have evidence that you actually did this. You have to stay in jail because they said you have to. So anyway, the COINTEL program, MLK was one of the people they targeted, and they did absolutely horrific things. They've done this to many people. There's a lady that I bring up that isn't talked about a lot because she wasn't a prominent name, but her name was Viola Liuzzo. I think I'm saying that correct. And she was a civil rights protester. She was from up north, and she came down to the south to participate in like the freedom rides and the sit-ins at lunch counters and stuff like that. She was murdered by Klan members, one of whom was an FBI agent. And so, FBI informant, but he worked very, very closely with the FBI. The FBI didn't want that to get out, so they slandered Viola Liuzzo. I think I'm saying that correctly. They slandered her as a communist who abandoned her family to do heroin and sleep with black men. None of this was true. Like she had not abandoned her family. She was not a heroin addict. None of that was true.
Wow.
But they said it about her, and so the press didn't talk about it much because she seemed like kind of an unsavory character. So not only did they, and no one was ever held accountable. Many years later, when no one cared, they released the fact that it was an FBI informant that murdered her.
Oh,
And so and again, it's one of those things they released it many years later where people go, that's terrible, but they don't care
forgot,
because it happened
didn't
decades
care.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just doesn't matter. It's not relevant to now, of course, because the government doesn't do this stuff anymore. And so that's the reality of how the FBI acts. And so now, fast forward to yesterday, the FBI puts out that ridiculous tweet. And I blasted them on Facebook about it too. They posted on Facebook as well, honoring Dr. King and his memory and all the stuff that he did for justice and everything else. And of course, the comments is just the replies is just filled with people going, "You mean the guy you killed? The guy you
Wow.
slandered and the guy that you tried to kill and the guy that successfully did kill and the guy that you tried to get to kill himself." Yeah, there it is. On this 40th anniversary of MLK Day as a federal holiday, the FBI honors one of the most prominent leaders of the civil rights movement and reaffirms its commitment to Dr. King's legacy of fairness and equal justice for all. The FBI. So I wrote, the organization who spied on Martin Luther King, slandered him, tried to convince him to kill himself, and was likely involved in his assassination, would like you to know they think he was a great guy. Like,
Ugh.
I was in favor of abolishing the FBI long before they did the stuff they're doing to Trump or the stuff they did with the Steele dossier or any of that. This is who the FBI is. They're not a law enforcement organization. By their own metrics, they fail in successful law enforcement 60% of the time. By their own metrics, they suck as a law enforcement organization because they're not a law enforcement organization. They are not about protecting the public. They are an explicitly political, they are a Stasi. They are a political organization whose purpose is to destroy the lives of anyone who tries to upset the establishment. And that's it. So if there's someone in DC who claims they're fighting the establishment and they're not constantly being slandered, then they're lying to you. Because if they were having any real effect, then the FBI
Oh,
would go after them and destroy them. And now the CIA too.
wow. It's like a badge of honor.
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
look at the comments, they're just being blasted. Yeah, the
from
Libertarian Party.
Libertarian Party honors him. You violated privacy through warrantless wiretapping and tried to convince him to commit suicide. Your honors are a total farce. I like this one from Royce
Exactly.
Lopez. This tweet is like Buffalo Bill wearing the skin of his victims.
Yes. Yeah. That's a good one. I don't know who Royce Lopez is, but that's incredible. That's a good one. Yeah,
He's
that's literally it. Yeah, everyone go like that tweet.
host
And
yeah. ROTC radio.
yeah, everyone
Revenge
go
of the
follow
Sis.
whoever. I
Yeah.
hope he's not like a Nazi or something and we're
No,
telling
he's
everyone to
one of
go
my
follow.
friends. Well, people probably
Oh,
call him
okay.
one. He
Host of
hosts
Gay
Revenge of the
Radio.
Sis.
Okay, all right. Well, go follow Royce. But yeah, but this, and we were talking about oh good, New Hampshire wait. Everyone weighed in. Everyone's like, you suck. We all came together. You know that meme
Mhm.
where like everyone has their swords pointed together and it's like all these different groups and they're all allied for a thing. Someone should make one for this where it's like, all libertarians, leftists, conservatives, communists, progressives, SJWs, like all these different groups, and their swords are pointed to the table, and the table is bashing the FBI. Like no one. Yeah, I like that one too.
Just because we
It's
killed MLK doesn't mean we can't miss him. Oh, oh wow,
but
that was
it's
a couple
true.
years ago. Yeah.
Sometimes I just wish they would say, "Hey, yeah, we tried to kill him, but we regret it." Man, these memes are incredible.
Like MLK, FBI gunshots, and then on his 40th.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, but that's like literally this but what is it? They rely on people not knowing stuff. They rely on people
Yeah.
being scared, easily manipulated, ignorant of history, and too lazy to look it up. And
And
too
scared of authority,
compliant,
like yeah, you
scared of
don't know,
authority. Yeah.
maybe don't trust authority, but you're scared of it enough to not look into it.
Exactly. Exactly. And I get that from a lot of people where they're like, I just like I'm okay. Even some libertarians, they're like, I don't know all this stuff because I don't want to know the details because it's just going to make me angrier. And I get that. Like I get that not wanting to like be miserable, but doom post yourself by, looking at all this stuff. But you have to know these types of things are happening. It's one thing
Yeah.
to say, I can't look at this constantly. I don't want to be depressed by it. I don't want to get angry and not be able to live my life. but you have to at least know what's happening and be cognizant of that and then not trust them as a result. If you say, because I don't want to know these things, I'm going to pretend everything's fine, well, then you're failing yourself. I mean, you're failing yourself.
Right. They want us to forget about history so they can take advantage of that and kind of just not really make the same mistakes again. They're not mistakes. They're purposely taking advantage of people.
They're absolutely taking advantage of people. It is, people say, is it more, willful malice or ineptitude or some, and what I say is it's a weird combination of both. They have malicious intentions and also they suck at everything. So, like, for example, perfect example was that letter to Dr. King. They're trying to get this guy to kill himself. Also, they can't spell significance. So, like, it's like the dichotomy of a federal agent, a horrific mass murdering sociopath can't spell or think good. Like,
But you know what?
it's both.
We're talking typewriters, Spike Cohen. It's like imagine the pressure you have to like send someone a threatening letter on a typewriter. Like you get
That's
one
fair.
chance.
But see, fraudulent. They went back and corrected fraudulent, probably because the
Right.
chief came in and was like,
And
"What
honestly,
was
this is
that?"
probably some dumb secretary typed this up. Okay, like or it was
That's
probably
fair.
dictated to her. So you
Just
know.
put fraudulent. Okay, FAOOR.
Fraudulent. You don't spell fraudulent with a 3 in the middle. What are you doing? Helen, get the hell out of here, idiot.
Freaking Helen ruined
God
everything.
damn
But
it.
that's so. I
What is
mean,
going
that's government. They suck at things and also are kind of evil. And when I say they, the organizational structure itself, the problem isn't individual agents or politicians or cops or bureaucrats or whatever. It is a system that is built on coercive force, monopolization of authority, centralization of all decision making. It's funded through theft and violence and threats of violence. It's enforced through violence. There's no feedback mechanism. If I try to govern all of your lives by ordering you around and robbing you and giving you what I think you need, not only is that inherently immoral and unethical and terrible and evil, but it also doesn't work very well. Not for you, it works great for me, but why I have no reason to provide you with good value because you
Mm,
can't take your business elsewhere, right? So I mean,
right.
if it's like going to a grocery store that's run by like the mob or something like that, and you leave and the food is expired and they also roughed you up a little on the way out and you're very disappointed and you're going to vote for a new mobster. It's not the individual people that did that to you, it's the organizational structure itself. It's a bad system.
Love you guys. Thank you for the chats. Thank you for the comments. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Bye. All right. Love you guys. God, I don't even want to leave. This candle smells so good. I don't want to leave. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye. Love you all. Join the Discord. Feet. Love you all. Wow. You guys are awesome. Come and get it. Bye, guys. Bye. Now I'm really leaving. Love you. Bye.